The Philippines is grappling with an unprecedented crisis affecting its agricultural sector. As tensions escalate between the U.S. and Israel in their conflict against Iran, Filipino farmers are bearing the brunt of skyrocketing fuel costs and plummeting crop prices. The national energy emergency has led to a severe shortage of diesel fuel, crippling the livelihoods of cabbage farmers, who rely on it to irrigate their fields. With crops rotting due to lack of water, these farmers are facing an uncertain future. Looking ahead, the international community will be watching closely as this crisis deepens and its impact on global food security becomes increasingly apparent. In a resounding display of dominance, Barcelona hammered Real Madrid 6-2 in the Women's Champions League quarterfinals at the Alfredo Di Stefano Stadium on Wednesday. The Catalan side has now gone 25 games unbeaten, solidifying their position as one of the top teams in European football. Barcelona's victory was fueled by a strong attacking performance from Joao Padger and Esme Brugts, who scored 2 goals inside the first 13 minutes to put their team firmly in control. Real Madrid pulled one back through Linda Caicedo, but Barcelona's Irene Paredes and Alexia Putellas sealed the win with late goals. With this victory, Barcelona has taken a commanding lead over their rivals, leaving them with an uphill task to mount a comeback in the second leg. Looking ahead, Barcelona will now face a tough challenge in the semifinals, where they will be looking to maintain their unbeaten streak and make a deep run in the competition. U.S. investors bet big on Indian cricket with record billion-dollar IPL deals. In a flurry of activity, 2 teams in India's premier sports league, the Indian Premier League, have sold out to US-backed consortiums, shattering previous records for team ownership. The Rajasthan Royals were purchased by Kel Samani and Rob Walton for $1.63 billion on Tuesday, only to be surpassed hours later when Royal Challengers Bengaluru was bought for a staggering $1.2 billion by a group led by U.S. businessman Sanjay Reddy. This sudden influx of foreign investment has significant implications for the future of Indian cricket, potentially altering the balance of power within the league and paving the way for increased global competition. Looking ahead, it will be interesting to see how these new owners shape the game and whether they can replicate their success in other international markets. A recent statement from BlackRock boss Larry Fink highlights the shift in job market demands as technology advances. In an interview, Fink emphasized the need for more skilled tradespeople like plumbers, electricians, and carpenters, while lamenting the overrepresentation of lawyers in the workforce. Fink's comments underscore a broader trend. Automation and AI are increasingly displacing jobs that require manual dexterity or creative problem solving. The banking and media industries, which Fink mentions, are particularly susceptible to this shift, as tasks can be easily automated. This rebalancing of job market demands is crucial for addressing the skills gap in emerging technologies. Looking ahead, it's clear that policymakers and industry leaders must prioritize vocational training and education to equip workers with the skills needed for the AI age. By doing so, they can mitigate the negative consequences of automation and ensure a more equitable distribution of jobs and opportunities. Brazil's former president Jair Bolsonaro has been granted temporary house arrest due to health concerns. He was ordered to stay at home in Rio de Janeiro after a court ruling, citing his deteriorating physical condition and the need for close monitoring. Bolsonaro, who left office last month, will be restricted from using his phone or social media during his confinement, and will only receive visits from family members, lawyers, and medical personnel. This decision comes as Bolsonaro's health has been a subject of concern in recent weeks, with reports of him experiencing respiratory issues. Looking ahead, this development highlights the challenges facing Brazil's transition to a new government, as Bolsonaro's allies struggle to come to terms with his departure from office. The key takeaway here is that Bolsonaro's temporary house arrest will likely continue to be a point of contention in Brazilian politics, potentially influencing the country's future policy decisions and leadership dynamics. A mass grave containing dozens of human remains, mostly infants, was recently discovered in a church compound in Kenya. The site, owned by the National Council of Churches of Kenya, has been shrouded in mystery as authorities struggle to determine the circumstances surrounding the burial. The discovery has raised concerns about potential human rights abuses and the need for transparency from the church and local authorities. Background checks have revealed that the church's leadership has denied any involvement in the secret burial, but questions remain about how the bodies came to be buried at the site. Looking ahead, investigators will likely focus on determining the cause of death and whether the burial was a result of a larger, systemic issue. A new report by IQ Air reveals that air quality around the world reached unhealthy levels in 2021, with average annual pollution exceeding World Health Organization guidelines in every country and 97% of cities. The report found that only a handful of cities met WHO standards, with the French territory of New Caledonia, Puerto Rico, and the U.S. Virgin Islands being among those to meet the guidelines. Countries such as India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh were among the worst offenders, experiencing air pollution levels at least 10 times above the recommended threshold. Looking ahead, this report highlights the urgent need for governments and individuals to take collective action to reduce air pollution and protect public health. The consequences of inaction will only exacerbate the already dire situation, emphasizing the importance of continued monitoring and policy changes to mitigate the devastating effects of poor air quality. Lake Powell's water level has been plummeting due to drought, but a new report reveals that its total capacity is also shrinking. The U.S. Geological Survey and the Bureau of Reclamation found that since 1963, when Glen Canyon Dam was built, Lake Powell has lost nearly 7% of its potential storage capacity. This loss is attributed not only to water loss caused by an intense multi-year drought, but also to sediments flowing in from the Colorado and San Juan rivers, which are reducing the reservoir's capacity. The average annual loss in storage capacity between 1963 and 2018 was about 33,270 acre-feet, or 11 billion gallons per year. This translates to enough water to fill the reflecting pool on the National Mall around 1,600 times. Looking ahead, this trend highlights the need for sustainable management of water resources in the region and potential long-term consequences for Lake Powell's ecosystem. Big box stores like Walmart, Target, and Costco are being considered as a potential solution for reducing America's reliance on fossil fuels. The rooftops and parking lot space available at these retail giants is massive, making them an untapped source of solar power that could help slash planet warming emissions. The IKEA store in Baltimore has already seen significant benefits from installing solar panels on its roof and parking lot. According to the company, this move cut the amount of energy it needed to purchase by 84%, resulting in a cost savings of 57% from September to December 2020. This is not an isolated incident, as many experts believe that big box stores could play a significant role in reducing emissions and saving companies millions. Looking ahead, if more retailers adopt this strategy, it could have a substantial impact on the country's energy landscape.